How can God love me?
What is my purpose?
What happens after death?
Why do bad things keep happening to me?
Who is God?
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this week's edition of Ask GHCC. This week, we're addressing a question that really comes out of the book of Genesis. And it's a question about origins and how all of us got here. And the question was framed like this. The Bible says that Adam and Eve were the first two people and that they had two sons. So how did they populate the earth? Well, first of all, the Bible is very clear that Adam and Eve didn't have just two sons. They had Cain and Abel. Abel died. Cain went on to be married to multiple wives and had numbers of children. But when Adam was 130 years old, he had another son named Seth. And after that, Adam and Eve went on to have a lot more children, sons and daughters, over the next 800 years. When Moses was writing about those early origins, he put it like this in Genesis 5. When God created mankind, he made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female and blessed them, and he named them mankind when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own image and his own likeness, and he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Adam lived a total of 930 years, and then he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. And after he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived a total of 912 years, and then he died. And on it goes through the developing account of humanity. Obviously, when Seth was 105, Adam and Eve also had many other sons and daughters. So at some point in those origins, Seth or someone in that line had to marry a brother or a sister. But there was no problem with that because God had commanded that Adam and Eve and their descendants multiply and fill the earth. In their doing that, it was so early on that sin had not yet had time to take its full effect. And as you can see from these accounts, with people living such long times and having so many sons and daughters, it would be a very short time before there would be hundreds and then thousands of people so far removed from the original couple that even though they were direct descendants of Adam and Eve, they would be so far removed from them that issues of genetics and issues of interbreeding and all those other things would no longer be an issue. In fact, if you think about it, today, all of us can trace our lineage back to Noah and his three sons, and even back further, all the way to Adam. So in one sense, we are still all related today, but so far removed from the original couple that there is no longer any issue. And though we are related in our humanity, we are in essence strangers because of that distance over time. And that's exactly what happened in the biblical account. So when Adam and Eve had their kids, they quickly multiplied. In those origins, there must have been a marriage to a brother or a sister. God was okay with that. And over time, there were so many that developed that it no longer became an issue. And that's how humanity began to spread over all the earth.
How can God love me?
What is my purpose?
What happens after death?
Why do bad things keep happening to me?
Who is God?